I usually set up from the previous one at the end of the previous episode. Yeah, restream should work. Oh, stuff's coming through. Well, it was working regardless.
Woo! Did it? Where did I put that thing? Hang on. Shit.
Yeah, restream. There we go.
Did
All
it?
sorted. Magic is happening. The magic of the interweb. That still amazes me. That
how it works. Well, we know how it works, but I mean, it works.
Yeah, that an image of me and voice of me is going to your computer, being re-encoded, being sent to Restream, which is sending it on to 2 other streaming platforms, all within about a second of each other.
But who would have thought all that time ago, way back when they were playing, oh, I don't know, what was that, the spaceship thing they were doing, or playing tennis for 2? Who would have thought this would have been a thing? Really?
No.
Because computers were just for, accounts and...
boring things.
Yeah, rather than this.
Yeah. Now you can stream your counting.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I wonder if there are any accounting streams.
There must be. Oh, I'm looking this up. There's got to be an account. There's got to be a YouTube accountants.
Can you tell we're padding?
We ain't YouTube account channel. Let's see. No, I don't want to create a YouTube channel. Well, August how to create a YouTube channel. Probably because the word account in. Let me show account in, because count channel probably thinks I need to create an account. Yep, there are accountant channels.
That's beautiful.
How to make a balance sheet. I really hope they do reaction to films. real life accountant reacts to like sort of
Wolf of Wall Street.
yeah. The real life accountant works out how much the Avenger compound costs. That's sort of, the running costs and stuff like that. That'd be great. I mean, to be fair, there's a lawyer who I watch, and he goes through films and he lists all the various laws they break and how many years in jail or how much bigger fine they're going to get.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, but I just love that an accountant to work out how much how much does Iron Man have to charge people for rescuing him to make sure his business stays competitive? Iron Man was the wrong option to pick there, really, wasn't it? Spider-Man. How much Spider-Man has to charge to cover his R&D costs?
I was going to say. Yeah, but in the new version, Stark pays all that.
Does he?
Yep.
I have not watched a single MCU film.
Oh, good on you. Although I will say I quite like the Iron Man ones, which are, by the way, Christmas films.
Oh, are they? Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not watched. I've watched them the miniseries, but I've not watched any of the films. Not because superheroes aren't really my cup of tea.
Yeah, fair that.
So I've never watched any. Not that I've got nothing against them, but I've never watched them.
I like the Iron Man ones. The Spider-Man ones are all right. Most of the other ones are shit though. So
Yeah.
There you go.
I always get mixed up because there's Marvel and there's DC, isn't there? I always get mixed up.
Oh no! That's confusing Star Wars and Star Trek. Don't you be doing that?
Oh, I saw T-shirts on Amazon the other day, and he bought it. And it's a picture of a Dalek, and it says, "Oh look, it's R2D2, my favourite Star Trek droid."
Oh mate,
I really wanted to buy it. I thought it looked great.
That would be that. Oh, I don't know if I'd dare walk down the street in that. And I mean, I wear some pretty out there stuff, but
Yeah. You can wear plenty of horrible stuff, but that is the one that's going to get you stabbed.
That's gonna cross the line, mate.
By a protractor.
So, I don't know.
They throw their pencil case at you.
It's gonna see an armada of geezers running at me with pocket protectors. It's like, well, not running at me, obviously, because they'd have to pull in their go for the old inhaler.
They're running at you. They go
exactly as they're wheezing, going for their inhalers and shit. It's like, whoa, hang on.
All I can say, Skazz, is pot calling kettle back, particularly in my case.
Oh, you can, mate. I'm sure you can outrun most of them.
Oh no, I've got flat feet, so I can't run at all.
You've got a push bike. I can just imagine you cycling away from them as they're running.
Yeah, but the first time I used a push bike in like years, I did like barely like a kilometre, and I got back and it killed me. I couldn't walk, and that's not an exaggeration. I had to lean against the house to get back in.
That's about right. No one can do that. Anyone that says they can, they're lying.
Yeah. In case you don't notice, good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 196 of the Rounders podcast.
Oh, yeah. Hi.
Hi, we're meeting stuff with Graham and
Oh, Skazz, that guy.
yeah. In case you notice, we may have a bit of an issue this evening because we ain't got a lot to talk about. So this is the padding part podcast.
Everyone's like, wait, but you always pad. Some people have actually checked these out and gone, I didn't realise you guys had even started.
Really?
Yeah. We thought that was the setup. It's like, no, we already set up before we went live. They're like,
Yeah. You showed what we were talking about before we got to that bit.
That's it. Island.
Yeah. Island, yes.
Found my new office.
We found Skazz a new home. It's a detached office.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it needs some renovation, but it's got great sea views, and it's a very well spaced view for 50k. It's very spacious for what it is.
That was gorgeous.
It is
Fucking bargain.
Yeah, you can put yourself up if you are listening to this. It's going up for auction on the 19th of July. So in 3 days' time, you can auction for a sea fort, the Bull Sand Fort in the Humber Estuary. Hole.
Beautiful. I want it.
I want it as well, actually. It's kind of cool.
Fucking we need it.
Yeah. This is where we'll set up our superhero base.
I didn't check to see if it had a flagpole, because if it did, we could have a Rand Nerds flag.
I can't see one on the picture, but I'm sure. I mean, how expensive can a bit of wood be?
You have a fair point, but still.
Yeah, I think we can get a flag for it. Then we just need to get some armaments. We want to make it proper. We want to be able to defend ourselves against, pirates.
We want to defend ourselves against the French, the Spanish, and possibly the British.
Look. We've always established the French we fought at some point in the past. You can't trust them.
Of course not.
And the Spanish sent an armada up to us once. I mean, you can't trust them.
Of course not.
So, yes, any weapons we have on board, if we see the French or the Spanish boats, no matter what they are, they come near us, we're shooting them.
I don't give a fuck if it's a fucking French cruise liner. It's going.
Well, cruise liners are terrible for the environment anyway, so I'm happy to see a cruise liner sink. And I watch all the posh people go down with it. It'd be hilarious.
That'd be absolutely beautiful. Do you reckon it's still there? Do you reckon the band would still play as they go down?
I kind of hope not, because I'm sure the band's probably not on a great deal of money.
Well, yeah, I suppose. By the way, can I promote another podcast whilst I'm at it? Speaking of sinking a cruise ship.
How much more popular is the podcast than us?
A lot, sadly.
Will they cross-promote us and get our figures up?
Almost definitely not.
I'm not sure I want you to do this then, Skazz, but go on.
Ship Hits the Fan.
Right.
It's a Rooster Teeth podcast, and it's about, basically shipwrecks. Just all the random, oh no, boat hits thing, sinks. Captain is flirting with some bird on island over there, waves to her, gets way too close to island, beaches.
That was the Costa Concordia, wasn't it?
That's the one.
Yeah. It didn't beach straight away, though. It sort of sailed in a circle and then beached itself.
Yeah, he kind of cacked that one. And from what I understand, he was one of the first people on a lifeboat. He just kind of fell in.
Yeah, he did. I remember he said he thought he fell into the lifeboat, as you do.
That was it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So Ship Hits the Fan, and if you're into aeroplanes, Black Box Down. And that's another Rooster Teeth podcast where they talk about plane crashes. Fucking brilliant. I was just going to say, just for the lols, if I was ever on a cruise, I would be listening to the Ship Hits the Fan podcast. And if I was on a plane, I'd definitely be listening to Black Box Down.
If I was on a cruise, I would play the Titanic soundtrack at full volume from my cabin all the time.
Oh, mate, they said that, that might have been the Costa Concordia, actually, that one of the songs from the Titanic soundtrack was playing as it hit. I was like, oh my fucking God, don't do that.
Well, I mean, why was that even in the playlist?
I know. I would avoid absolutely anything that references the fucking Titanic. Just bin it off. All right.
Yeah, I mean, why would you put that? Why? Well, you know what it is? The person who set that playlist up was thought this would be hilarious. I'll put the Titanic theme in the playlist, and that came back to bite them, I think.
Yeah, the needle drops as they hit. It's like, oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's like a once in a lifetime moment. I would have been happily caught in the middle of a shipwreck just to have seen that moment, just to have seen the look on people's faces as they're in the restaurant or whatever, listening to that song, and then they hear the fucking sound of metal on rock.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine he flew abroad a few years ago, and he said the film they played was Flights, starring Denzel Washington,
Oh.
which is about a drunk pilot who crashes a plane and flies upside down at one point.
That sounds fantastic. I'm in.
Yeah, and they played it on the flight. It's like, okay, good. I said, does she show the crash? He goes, yeah. He said it filled me with confidence.
How did you feel?
If we're talking about recommendation of podcasts, I've got a YouTube recommendation.
Not go on then.
I'm going to a YouTube recommendation called chap called Mentor Pilot, and he also does videos on plane crashes and stuff.
Oh, I think I've seen his stuff.
Yeah, he's really good, and he does like he's got like a mate who uses Microsoft Flight Simulator and stuff to film all the accents and stuff and recreate them all and show them all the controls and where they're all set up to and stuff.
I can't remember. Is that the British guy or the French guy? I know there's a foreign geezer
He's
doing
not
those.
French. He's you might think he's French. He's not. He is, I think, Swedish.
Oh, fair enough.
Blonde, spiky hair, goatee.
Yeah, it might be the guy. Bloody foreigner.
Yeah. His name is Peter.
Yeah, that's the one. Sounds French to me. That'll do.
Yeah, he does sound a bit French. There's also there's another guy who sounds British called Captain Joe, but he's actually German.
Oh, wow. We better get that,
yeah.
mate. We need that fortress sharpish.
Yeah.
Are we in the flight path of any any major airports?
Let's see what airports are nearby the fort. So I've got the postcode for the fort. Let's look at airports nearby.
So I'd had to figure a way of tying it in, and as soon as I was like, "Is he French? I don't know. He'll be French from now."
Yeah.
Anything?
I'm now searching. Yes. Yes.
Ooh. Where?
So your nearest airport is Humberside Airport, which looks like I don't know its flight routes, but it's very close to where it could be. So what I'm saying is we need some AA guns on our fort. Yeah. Right. Let's see. What's departing? Only EasyJet flights departing, or Ryanair. Fuck those guys. Doesn't Zaber fly Ryanair?
I think so. Yeah, he might do. Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. We'll have to make
I was
sure
going to say
if
if Zaber's flights were going over, we could just say to him, jump out. He loves flying,
yeah.
so I'm sure he'd be all right with parachuting as well.
Yeah. I mean, yes, if you can somehow open the door up at the sort of...
Yeah, I know. That's not really a thing, but I mean, just lower...
hang on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make a note of...
Can we ask him to just sully it? Just take a risk, just water landing. That'll be fine.
Miracle on the Humber.
Yeah, just outside of our fort. I'm sure they could nail it. I mean, there's places for people to get out, isn't there?
Yeah. We'll rescue them. We'll send the boats over, we'll rescue them, bring them all back to the fort and go, right, you're in our kingdom now.
Passports, please.
Yeah. Passport, please. We'll set you all to work.
We'll end up getting done for holding everyone hostage. They were trespassing.
No. Yeah, exactly. We're trespass on Randnerd's sovereign territory, and we exercised our rights under Randnerd's sovereign law that if you stand up on our territory, you become a citizen automatically.
And they start looking at it and they're like, what the fuck are you on about? And it's like, you got any proof of any of this? And then just hand them it. It's on a napkin. Or a beer mat.
I tell you what, this is a start of a fantastic 80s science fiction film. This is sort of plotline you get in those films.
It's almost as bad as Space Barbarian at this point.
It is. We have only 4. Now, what I was then going to do was I was then going to find Humberside Airport's airport code, and then what I'm going to do, not today, but I'm going to launch a flight simulator, and I'm going to have a little fly around.
Are you going to try and find our fortress?
I'm going to try and find our fortress. I'm going to see if I can do a Sully. And
is it possible?
I don't know if it's possible in Flight Simulator, but I think Flight Simulator, if you do, it just says, yeah, you've crashed a plane. So I think it's something like you've caused irreparable damage to the whole of the vehicle, stuff like that.
Why can't he now get one of those wee motorboats? You know, the old the water plane thingies. The what are they fucking called? You know the
Oh,
ones with the
yes, there are some water planes in there.
yeah, the fucking. Can you get one of those from Billund?
Yes, yes, I can.
That'll probably take
Yes,
about 12 years to
I can.
get there.
Sorted. No, it's only just around the corner.
There you go.
Okay, I have the code for Humberside Airport. Humberside shall either stream it.
I was going to say there's a live stream happening here.
Yeah, I'm not sure how my computer would handle live streaming and
I just crank the res down to like 640 by 480, low graphics. It still looks pretty good on low.
Yeah, you'll be saying, why are you playing Microsoft Flight Simulator X? I'm not.
Like, why are you playing something in fucking... Why are you playing Flight Sim in wireframe?
Yeah. Why are you playing the Excel version of Flight Simulator?
Yeah. What is this, an RM Nimbus? It's like, yes.
It's Flight Simulator still. In Excel, they removed it.
I have no idea. I did actually say that to Noodle the other day, and he didn't believe me. I was like, no, mate, it used to be.
Yeah. Flight Simulator Excel.
Come on.
Come on, is it still there? Is there Flight Simulator Excel?
Wouldn't it be funny if it turned out it was the new one? It just streams it over.
Well, it's definitely Excel 97.
No, that was ages ago.
I know.
That's like Boomer software, that is.
Boomer software.
Mate, my son keeps reminding me that fucking anyone over the age of like 25 is a boomer. I'm like, fuck off, dude.
No, well, you can tell him he's completely and utterly wrong. You can tell, because boomer is basically people who grew up just after World War II.
Yeah,
so
don't say that to them because they don't even know that fucking World War II exists. They think that's like some kind of fucking movie plot line.
Yeah, I can see that actually.
That's it. There is actually like a tag you can get in Valorant, like like a title, where you can call yourself a boomer. I want to get that.
Oh dear. What do you have to do? Do you have to like vote Trump or something?
Probably. I mean, let's be fair. In video gaming terms, we are definitely boomers. Or dead.
Oh, yeah. No, Skazz, we are millennials. Why do I keep having to remind you of this disgusting fact?
Oh, please don't. Please don't. Jeez. Mate, I know whether I'm a boy, a girl, or a toaster. I'm more than comfortable with being a toaster, all right? I mean...
it looks like it's only the 97 version.
Only 97, you cheap bastards.
I know. Apparently Excel 2000 had a game called Dev Hunter, inspired by Spy Hunter.
I was going to say, it sounds very Microsoft-like.
Yeah. Hunt the dev and then kill them by making them make code some very boring software.
Fucking buy them out and bin this shit.
Yeah. No, that's EA. You've got confused with EA there.
Shit. God damn.
Microsoft just developed something that's somewhat good and then kill it. And that's Google.
I was going to say, watch out. Hang on.
Yeah. Google, what's this incredibly popular bit of thing we've created everybody loves? Let's kill it.
It's like, yeah, I know, but we've lost about 2 users in the last 5 years. It's going to have to go in the bin,
it's clearly going under. Yeah, it's been it.
It's like, god damn. And they do that with all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Stupid fucking... And then they replace it with something that does near enough the same job, but worse.
Yeah. I am still amazed. I'm actually going to check this. And is it still working? I'm going to be amazed if it's... I'm amazed that feed burner is still a thing.
Really? I thought we said that.
Oh, whoa. Hang on a second. Oh, I've just gone on to it. There's a notice.
It's gone.
In the coming weeks, we'll complete the migration we announced last year onto a more stable model infrastructure and start turning down non-core feed management features, including email subscription. All existing feeds will continue to serve uninterrupted. Oh no, it's still carrying on. Core feed management functionality will continue to be stored, including the ability to burn a new feed, change the URL, source feed, and podcast meta on your feed. Please make sure to export your email subscribers. Oh, so it's still going.
Oh my
feed
god.
burner still goes. What? That is incredible to me. They keep feed burner going.
We're going to have to check fucking Google's pulse right now. I was like, hang on. Are you sure you guys haven't started losing it? Because feed burner, and they're like, what? What's feed burner? I was like, shit. Just not let that one out.
Look, we've established that feed burner is running on a computer at Google, and no one knows it's there.
That's that
It's
old,
that
it's that old reel in the back.
It's that computer. Well, yeah, they have lots of it, but it's a computer that's in the office that nobody knows what it does. but no one dares try switching it off because they're worried it looks like it's important. And no one, everybody's worried if we switch it off, something
internet.
important might go down. It is the internet. It's a little black box with a blinking light on it. And they're worried that means that something will go down and the whole world will collapse. So no one dares switch it off. And actual fact, it's running FeedBurner.
The more you know. The
And
truth, as told by Rand Nerds.
And there's one dev at Google who knows this fact because he wrote FeedBurner back when he was back when he was a youngster, about 40 odd years ago. I don't know how old FeedBurner is, but I'm assuming it's 40 odd years ago, and he's like sort of some strange Yoda-like hermit now, who lives like in sort of the back office somewhere, and young devs go
The
and see
back
his-
offices, you mean like the area that's like turned into, what is it, fucking Aperture Sciences in Portal 2?
Yeah, exactly. And young devs occasionally go on like pilgrimages to find him. They work their way through the sort of like offices, and they have to like sort of escape, and like they encounter other devs who failed in the challenge, have become sort of evil and cannibalistic. And the young devs fight their way through. Eventually, they get to find this guy, and he's sat there in an office trying to buy paperwork and punch cards and they say reel-to-reel computers and all sorts.
This grey-bearded wizard.
And they can ask him a question, and he will answer for them, and he will answer only in assembly. And then
And they're like, wait, what?
and then they can go back and their pilgrimage is complete.
Again, as told by Rand Nerds.
Well, this is fact. As somebody who's never worked for Google, but is confident in how Google's set up, a company that big, it's got to be like that.
FeedBurner, the life, the legend.
This is a film waiting to be made.
So far, we've come up with several films, and no one has raided me yet to say that they're gonna deny us from doing it. So,
Oh, there you go. It means that someone must like it.
yeah, that's it. I mean,
Yeah,
Kim's probably
well-
giving me a thumbs up right now.
Yeah. Give old Spielberg a call. You still got his number, haven't you?
Yeah, somewhere it's tucked away. You know, in one of them,
Yeah.
what are they, Rolodexes?
Yeah. You give Spielberg a call. I'll give Cameron a call. We'll sort this all out.
Yeah, that's it. Come on, lads. Should we get some
We'll
old?
get this-
Can we get some old? Can we get some fucking Bay lens flares in there as well, just for lols?
Or we want Abrams in there. Yeah, we'll get him involved.
You know, fucking.
Yeah, I mean, if you want explosions, you want Michael Bay. If you want him, then he really needs to be in charge of the Fort film.
Does
So
that mean
really
that? So what we're going to do when we want re-edits? We're going to get Lucas in as well, so we can completely
Oh
rework.
no, because he'll re-edit it 10 times and release it 10 times. And
Yeah, but at least people will never forget it.
Yes, but I want people to like the films.
Oh yeah, fair point. Fair point. I mean, he
No,
can
I
always
don't-
change key points.
And he'll somehow turn, he'll somehow turn the sort of the passion of the Google engineer. He'll somehow turn that into a 10-episode epic. We don't need it.
Yeah, but think
I don't
he
want-
could sell action figures. And think about it.
Oh,
If he
what-
did, if he
what
did the island
Coda?
one as well. No. Think about it. If he did the island one as well, there could be an action figure, a doll of Zaber, scale.
Yes.
Fucking the Lassie Ran Nerds fans would be fucking gushing over that shit. Make a fortune.
We will. Zaber, and we've got to be totally, we have to really sort of pay into sort of like our homage of our history. So Zaber needs to be dressed up like a Viking.
You're damn right.
They can be me on the bike. Yeah. Suffolk Graham action figure comes with real asthma inhaler. You pull the cord, he goes. What would yours be? You'd have a skateboard, wouldn't you?
I don't know, probably. Or I'll be pulling my hair out. With real hair loss action.
Pull the cord. Nailed it.
Bosh, mate.
Bosh, mate, bosh.
Does Zabers come with a piggy?
Yes, that's a special edition.
Oh, fuck.
That's another action figure, the piggy attachment.
Oh, that'd be great.
But the piggy one is also like sort of like locks together, so you can actually chop it in half and stuff. It's like magnets that like chops back together again.
That'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
There you go.
Little
We're worth millions.
Yeah.
Now we need to just get that island.
Yeah. So, yeah. Then you see, that's another biopic in the future. You see, we can then do another biopic in 20 years' time where we can go back and say, well, all started when we bought the fort. BBC Two documentary.
First step on the road to fucking.
And now look at us. Raned's empire owns the world.
That'd be great. And it all started with one little island.
Yeah. Also on one little island where we set up a little Ethernet cable too, and a Just Eat drone delivery service.
That'd be brilliant. That'd be brilliant. Can we take the Ethernet cable over by jet ski?
Yeah, why not? With sky's the limit, mate.
I mean, I don't know why jet ski. I just figured it'd be a laugh.
Do you reckon we could get a good price on a second-hand nuclear submarine?
Oh, that'd be brilliant. Yeah, we could do that too.
Yeah.
You can buy like old airplanes and shit, can't you? They must have somewhere where we can buy that.
Yeah, I'm sure we can have but the airplane might be an issue because there's no runway.
Nuclear submarine attached to a tugboat. Because I doubt they're gonna let us have a reactor. So.
Well, then I'll sue them for not for. Look,
I mean, we can have the rest of it.
I expect it to have a working reactor.
Do you reckon they still have the remains of any of the old coal dealios?
I'm not buying a nuclear submarine for spares or repair.
Just imagine we'll get a coal dealio, we'll refit it like they did with all the American nuclear reactors where they put coal and shit in it. We'll just we won't be able to sub or anything without dying. But
well, you can sub for a little while with fossil fuel powered submarines because the Germans did. The only trouble is, at some point, you do have to come to the surface, to get air. Well, actually, that's not true at all. I've completely lied there. The German subs ran on batteries, but then came to the surface to recharge the batteries. So, hence why they're quite vulnerable, because, they had to get up and breathe.
Yes, that's one thing with a submarine.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that can make you go pop or boom is also up there too.
Anyway, the other reason I say we should get a nuclear sub is we do know somebody who knows how to drive a submarine.
Yeah, that's true. That's
true. So we've already got the experienced guy. We need to convince him to come over. Well, I say convince, I mean kidnap. But once we get on board, he will know what to do. Yeah. How hard can it be? I'm sure they've got like a go forward button and go backwards button.
I don't know why, but I've got this random feeling. I swear I can hear Liz prepping rooms in the Tower of London right now.
No, she'll be down with it.
She's totally cool with the idea.
She's so cool with it. She'll be down with it. She really will.
She's like,
she'll think it's hilarious. Look, we'll promise her part in the film.
Yeah, I think she'd be.
We'll have to get made. Well, I would say we'll get made quick, but I think if we got made 100 years' time, she'd still be able to have a part in it because she's never going to die.
I was going to say she ain't going anywhere. I mean, and in fairness, she'll probably be like Margaret Thatcher. You think that Margaret Thatcher's dead, but no, you got to keep them young people away from that fucking coffin. Anything with blood has to be about 5 miles away from that motherfucker.
Yeah, that's the only reason why the Conservatives arrange for school trips, though, isn't it? From sort of the less well-off schools. Because those schools expect to lose one or two soon.
One or two.
Yeah, it's natural wastage. You expect to lose.
Why is it encased in lead and concrete? Well,
yeah. Now, for a special treat, some of you, the most juiciest amongst you, will be allowed to go into the coffin room all by yourself. And they close the door, slip the teacher 50 quid and a bottle of whiskey. And off they go. I
was going to say, poor bastard in one of the lower tier public schools would need more than a bottle of scotch, mate.
Well, the times are hard, Skazz. They had to cut backs.
Oh, the British education system. How we love it.
Oh, it's the best in the world. It produced us, so there you go.
Oh.
That's not quite true in my case.
Oh. Wow. Oh.
Oh. Well, but yeah, I will report back on the the exploration of the aircraft. I shall report back on that.
That'd be beautiful.
Cool. Right. So, what exciting things have you been up to, Skazz?
Games we've been playing. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. That is very true. Unfortunately, I've had ill dogs, so I've not been playing anything.
And I'm not gonna lie, I've had a week off. I shouldn't have had.
So you had a week off and Zaber was there. What more could you possibly?
Yeah, I needed a vacation from the vacation.
Yeah.
I'm still recovering.
Yeah. We killed a rat in Demeo. That's good.
Well, yeah, that was fucking great. That's the only thing I've done in the last 2 weeks.
That was amazing.
Do you know what's weird?
Amazing.
How that was actually easier than the first boss. The second scenario boss was easier than the first one.
Well, it did help that both me and Zaber had invulnerability.
Well, yeah.
And we actually used it. Whereas with the last time we went to the boss, we both had invulnerability. Neither of us bothered to use it.
The case of the first boss in scenario 1, the first boss also has invulnerability spells.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yes, it does. It's true. That does.
So what are you gonna do? Like, oh yeah, mate. Fucking, we've got 3 turns of invulnerability. So is that crazy bitch?
But the rat one is that it absorbs. No, I don't know. Does it absorb souls just regardless? Does it absorb souls of what you kill?
I'm not entirely sure. I didn't quite catch that mechanic, to be honest, because we literally just nuked the son of a bitch down.
Well, I think it caused what you kill because I think once because Zaber's put his blowy up thingies down.
Oh, his ballistas, yeah.
That's it, and they killed a lot of things. Then you attack the before that you'd hit the Rat King and done quite a lot of damage, and then he starts all his souls. Where his all soul farms look roughly where his Zaber's things would have fired. Mm-hmm. You can't see because in Fog of War you're not sure where they fired.
Which is ridiculous, by the way. Scenario 2.
Yeah, Fog War's awful, and so I think if you kill them, then I think the sort of trick is don't attack any of the other fiends.
But that's ridiculous though, because you get steamrolled. It spawns the bastards in.
Exactly. But then if you've got because we had vulnerability, it didn't matter.
Yeah, I suppose. So the trick is be prepped to steamroll that son of a bitch and fast, if you can ever find it. Because we couldn't find it. We spent ages going, where is it? And then it was just like, there
it is.
Oh shit!
There's a bit literally that you couldn't time it better. I literally say we haven't seen this Rat King yet, and then literally it's the enemy's turn. Oh look, there the fucking thing is. This fucking huge monstrosity appears. Oh, there it is.
It's about fucking 50 feet tall, staring us down. Because every other route was blocked, weren't it, by a poison orb?
Yeah. My favourite about that level was the fact that right at the start, we're all together, Zaber kills something, blows up a poison orb, and it starts to spread, and he decides to go the opposite way to us. so he gets himself trapped the wrong side of all the poison with everything attacking him.
Oh yeah, because he was up the stairs, weren't he? He was like, wrong way, mate.
Yeah, that was not the way to go. I was like, why did you go that way when we're clearly going this way?
Silly bugger. I love Demeo. That game is fucking fantastic. So Demeo was a tabletop board game. We've spoken about it many a time on the podcast. But now that you've gone VR to desktop, back to VR, what are your thoughts?
They both have their advantages and disadvantages.
Mm-hmm.
For immersion, VR.
For sure.
Definitely. I do find that playing VR for a couple hours sitting down actually does start to crank my neck a bit.
Sure. Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah.
So I do find towards the end, I'm quite glad when we finish because my neck is starting to suffer a bit. That might have been
Demeo matches do not end quickly.
No, if they were like an hour long, they'd probably be not so bad. But because it's like a couple hours long, I could see long term that being a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I was going to say most of the time when I play, I'm standing up, so I'm actually physically looking down at the table.
Yeah. In forms of like what I call glance information, how to get information at a glance, the PC version I think is better because it's all the interface of the PC version is actually very nice. Mm-hmm. You know, you've got the cards above, so you can just glance down, so you don't have to glance around. So it's more useful. That's the same for any interface like that is going to be easy to read regardless of what game you play. In like sort of a shooter, you're going to have your ammo count in the corner. It's going to be quick and easy to read than like in a VR with these you have it on the gun or something. In a way. So swings and roundabouts. Which do I prefer? Probably the VR version.
Oh.
Yeah, probably the VR version I prefer. What is nice about the PC version is when it's like the enemies turn stuff, the camera sort of moves to follow the enemies. So that is quite nice. From point of view when we're recording and then recording it and editing it, so a viewer can see what the enemies are doing. That's quite nice. Mm-hmm. Whereas on the obviously headset version, that doesn't happen. You have to be looking in the right place.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, that's the one from a viewer's point of view. I think the PC version is possibly slightly better from a viewer's point of view.
Sure.
From a gamer's point of view, I probably do prefer the VR version.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So, But yeah, definitely
mean,
a really good game.
I know we already covered that kind of a bit before, but it's like, we went VR, then you went to PC. We had a bit of a chat about it, but now you've spent time in both and a lot more. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, no, you have a fair point. You have a fair point. I definitely prefer the VR version. I still find movement to be a fucking nightmare on the PC version. Like actually moving the camera around and quickly viewing the map. Although in scenario 2, you can't see anything anyway. So
my sort of counter argument to that though is it's probably a bit it's a little bit fiddly, but my counter to that is in VR, if your character is behind another enemy or another character, it can be bloody awkward to pick them up unless you really switch the you have to smush the camera around to get the right angle on them.
Sure.
It's very awkward to sort of like reach over another counter and pick it up.
Yeah.
That I find a little bit annoying. But obviously the PC version, it's not such an issue. I mean, PC version perhaps if they put something like perhaps almost like arrow control, rather than have to click and drag, you just click where you want to go type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a little bit optimized PC, but they're sort of trying to sort of replicate a little bit of the VR version. But I think you could still have a fun game playing all PC if you didn't have the access to VR. I don't think you're going to lose a lot by just playing it PC, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I was on the fence, but I mean, it's a great game regardless. I can't take away from Demeo at all. I think it's an absolutely brilliant game.
Yeah. Like I say, VR it's just slightly better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I would still happily pay the PC version of it.
Sure.
Still quite happy.
And
to do
the
that.
bonus is if you buy it on Steam, you get both, don't you? You get
Yes.
you get the PC version and the VR version. I don't know about the Oculus Store though. Although I suppose the added bonus to the Oculus Store is that if you buy it on there, you get the PC version or PC VR version and the Quest version, so you can play standalone. But yeah.
Didn't Zaber though? Where did he buy the PC version separately then? Because he played on PC at one point.
I think he might have done. I don't remember though.
Yeah.
Because he's quite into doing standalone VR, whereas I fucking despise standalone VR. I absolutely hate it. It's if it's all you've got, fine. But there are just some games that, whilst they run in standalone VR, Zenith is one of them. Whilst it runs in standalone, it's shit in standalone. I could not understand. I couldn't believe that standalone Zenith was released the way it was. Because once you got to Obsidian Fortress, roughly the halfway point in that game, it ran like shite even on the Quest 2. Like you'd be in the middle of a battle and the screen would like fade to black and then say like, I don't know, like clearing caches or something like that, or flushing memory. And then in like the Zenith font, and then it would fade back into the battle. And I'm like, you can't fucking do that mid-combat because the game doesn't pause for you because it's an MMO. But fucking hell. Yeah. Although I will say, my eldest son, have I mentioned that yet? That my eldest son got his VR headset on his birthday because he's now turned 13.
Oh, he's of the age where he can be granted a VR headset.
Because I'm one of those parents that actually follows terms of service, and terms of service states that he can't have an account until he's 13. I will say though,
and you're not really meant to use VR headsets prior to that age either.
Yeah, but there's an actual neurological reason for it, isn't there? And the eyes haven't properly developed yet, and they haven't developed like the fine muscle memory yet or fine motor control. They end up doing some weird kind of full body stuff when it should just be small micro movements, which can actually really screw them up as they get older if they don't develop that properly. And putting them in VR stunts that development. So it's for anyone that is getting VR for their children, probably don't. And I also actually find it's quite disrespectful to put your children in VR to the people who have invested a metric fuck ton in their VR rigs. Because, I get it, a 300 quid Quest is nice to dump your kids in for the afternoon, but if you've spent, $1,000 on your headset and $1,000 on your PC, and you go, hop into Demeo or Rec Room or VR, well, VR chat's full of fucking squeakers anyway, but as much as I love VR chat, it just is. you know, your chill out groove gets ruined by some little bell end that can't keep their mouth shut. So
Maybe say that of or online gaming though.
I suppose, yeah, but I mean, let's be fair though. In all online gaming, I don't mind being called a cunt and be told to drink bleach if I'm playing on like an Xbox One or Xbox Series S that cost me a couple £100, versus, you know, a two or three grand VR setup. You know, or like if I'm playing Valorant or League of Legends, like you can run those games on a fucking potato. So I'm not going to be too bothered if my chill out time cost me nothing to set up. But in the case of VR, that can be quite an investment. You know, because my VR rig is, let's pretend I had an index. That'd be, you know, near enough a grand's worth of headset, and you know my machine is probably what, £1.5–2 grand. So for a £3 drop, to have some little prick in a £300 headset just come in and start being a twat would absolutely do my head in. So I laid down the fucking law of the land to my eldest son, and I said, look, if I catch you being a dick even once in VR, you're banned. Like, I will ban you until the day you leave this house. But no, he's actually been really good with it. He has tried standalone and PC. Because we actually got him a bucket load of Steam vouchers for his birthday, thinking that he would buy PC VR games on Steam, and he didn't. He bought a bunch of other games, fighting games and stuff like that, and the main stuff he's actually played, Rec Room and VR Chat, which are free on standalone. He bought Beat Saber later on PC VR, and Half-Life Alyx, strangely enough.
Oh, cool.
And he's not hugely into Half-Life, but he liked the look of it. He was like, yeah, I'll give that a go. And he fucking loves it. Absolutely loves it. So much so that he's had the headset for nearly 3 weeks, and he's already developed stick drift on the left control.
Really?
Yes.
Which headset did you get him?
Quest 2.
Quest 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brand spanking new Quest 2 with all the accessories and all that kind of stuff. And
To be fair, Quest 2 is what everyone says to me, what VR headset to get, and I usually tend to get a Quest 2.
Quest 2 is fantastic. For the money, it is easily the best headset out there.
Yeah, it's the best, and it's the best entry-level headset as well.
Yeah.
And entry is a bit unfair to it, really, because actually it's a very decent headset for what it is.
Think about it. It's got really comfortable, solid controls that are supported by absolutely everything. Inside-out tracking on it is fucking fantastic for what it is. Really quick and simple to set up.
My headset, which costs more.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot easier to set up as well than my Vive. And my Vive, I had to invest another couple £100 to get fucking decent controls for it. The Quest does PC VR, wired or wireless, so you don't have to have that tether. All right, admittedly, because it is compressed video, it's not as sharp as a standalone headset. But then you do also get the added bonus of higher resolution displays on the Quest 2 versus, like say an Index or whatever, or a Vive, or it's a fucking quality headset. And look again, the added bonus of standalone and PC VR. You have 3 options on that headset. Standalone. So you've got your mobile versions. Pull it out your backpack in the middle of anywhere, and bam, you're playing VR. PC VR. You could be wired, zero or minimal latency, really nice quality fucking image in the headset and all that. Great. But the only downside is you're tethered. Or if you want a mix of the two, you can go wireless PC VR, and you can be running around a fucking massive ass play space and just having a whale of a time. For £300, you can't go wrong. You really can't. The negative stigma on that headset is ridiculous. Although in fairness, I think it does come from, well, 2 places really. 1, it's Meta, it's Facebook, and 2, that's all the kids. It's just parents putting their 9-year-old in VR. Please stop doing it, because they're not old enough to have an account. And I actually have had to explain that to a few parents who have bought their kids VR headsets. So I'm like, well, how do I did this and we lost access to the account. How do we get all their stuff back? So you don't. because they're not old enough to have an account. So they're in breach of terms of service regardless of how you set it up. Although
the answer is you need to buy. The answer is you need to break the terms of service.
Yeah, no matter what you do, you have to break terms of service, which means that any of your purchases can be made null and void in a heartbeat.
Yeah. All it takes is basically tell your kids to be very well polite to everybody online, because all it takes is one person to report their account.
Yep, and they are gone. And so if you have bought the multiple titles in standalone VR, if you have put like Beat Saber on there, that's like 20 odd quid. Virtual Desktop will be another 20 odd quid. Pop 1, again, another 20 odd quid. You could lose a lot of software really quickly, a lot of money's worth of stuff really fast. So just don't do it. Just really don't do it. And if your kid if you don't think they're mature enough to be there, and don't get me wrong, again, you'll get squeakers in anything, and there are some man children in VR. Just don't put them in there, because it's not VR's fault. It's your fault as a parent. If anything dodge happens in VR. Now, I monitor mine. I monitor my boy in VR, and I occasionally hop into VR with him.
As a responsible parent should.
I mean, on his birthday, we went to... Did I tell the story in the podcast?
No, you don't tell anything about his birthday.
Right, so we went to... He wanted to go to a fairground on his birthday, but we couldn't. We just couldn't. We couldn't take him to a...
That's a very sort of like 1950s choice.
Well, he wanted to go to like Pleasure Beach or whatever. So he wanted to like go on roller coasters and shit like that. Instead, we went bowling, and that fucking sucked balls. That really sucked balls. Like things did not go well there. And they ended up spending most of the time in the arcade anyway, because it's an arcade down the local bowling alley. But we got home, got him into VR, which is the thing he was most excited about. And we hopped into VR chat. He and I went to VR chat. He went into a public room, which initially I asked him not to do, but he's actually been quite polite in doing so. I ran into the public room to find him, yanked him out, and because he's like, "Oh, dad," in a room full of fucking people, and there's me and him going fucking leg it. And I drop a portal, and we go to VR McDonald's. Right, but I set up like a friends only room, so like me, him, my lot, his lot can all get in and dick about. But there's only me and him there, and so we steal a car and go to the drive-through window in the LVR McDonald's. And I'm like, shit, it's a friends only instance, so there's no one here to serve the food, right? So I jump out of the car, I leave him to drive the car. The car's like rolling to the drive-through window, leg it into McDonald's, jump over the counter. It's like, shit, yeah, there's no one at the window. Having to try and find the window. I hear him go, "Dad, I see you." Fucking. So I look round. There he is as the car pulls up to the window. I run to the window, start hammering on the fucking onto the till to like put some kind of order through. Grab a burger and some fries, throw them out the fucking window at him as his car then speeds off.
So very accurate to the real McDonald's experience.
Yeah, it was great. And then after that, I found out wherever he parked the car, he came in. We pretended to have our McDonald's lunch, and then we ported off to a fairground. He started to get a bit motion sick.
Oh, bless.
Because he fell out of the Ferris wheel.
Oh, bless him.
And yeah, it was. I mean, it was well fun. We just dicked around for a few hours in VR chat, and it was neat. There was some other stuff going on. I just, for the life of me, I can't remember what it was, because I just like freaked out. So we took a bunch of photographs in VR chat as well.
Yeah.
So it's just like images of me and him rocking around, and that was pretty neat. He plays a lot of like VR chat Among Us and that, because VR chat has tons of different games and things in it. So like people actually make or remake games, because the rooms in VR chat are just Unity instances. Yeah. So anything you can code in Unity can, in theory, run on VR chat. So he's been playing loads of little mini games and stuff in that. But yeah, he's really enjoying it. Other note though, what was it, like nearly 3 weeks after he gets his headset, and we set him up a Facebook account and all that kind of stuff, which was a fucking nightmare, by the way, because I had to tie his Facebook account to my phone number because it wouldn't let me use his email address. Like it just kept on instantly saying nope. No reason why, just we can't sign you up with an account. So I used his Oculus app on his iPad. And to answer the question we asked before, can we use an iPad or a tablet to set up an Oculus headset? Yes, you can. You don't need to have a phone. I ended up having to put my phone number into his iPad for the Oculus app, and then it let me make a Facebook account. Then I managed to assign it back to his email address. Now, though, 2-3 weeks later, they're saying they're removing the requirement for a Facebook account.
Oh.
Yeah, so he'll be able to make an Oculus account, or I guess transfer over to. I think they're still they might be calling it a Meta account, but in some documentation it still says Oculus account, which is really weird. So, yeah, and so now for anyone that has been using the excuse, I don't want to buy it because I have to have a Facebook account. You don't have to either now or soon. You won't have to. You've got no excuse now.
Yeah.
Top headset.
Sorry. Jimmy is here.
Fantastic.
He said size for Zenith. Ah.
Yeah.
And now I'm assuming he's saying this in the voice of Joey Tiviano. He goes, "How are you guys doing?" I'm doing well, apart from an ill greyhound, but she's fine now.
Yep.
And apparently my camera has frozen. I have investigated this while Skazz has been talking, and it's not you, Jimmy. It is the stream is frozen because it's frozen on Restream.
Oh, there you go.
So
not entirely sure what's going on there.
We ain't gonna
leave it. Just leave it.
We're not going to try and fix it.
My camera will go dark in a bit anyway.
You can still see my lovely face. So what more could you possibly want from this?
We need to do one in VR at some point, Ram. We need to actually go into VR chat and.
Here's the thing. If VR chat uses Unity, works from Unity, I know how to code in Unity. And I know how to build. I know how to use Blender now.
Get it done.
I could build us a brand new studio.
That would be great. Get it done. Because we did say we were going to do some VR streams, some VR chat podcasts and stuff. That'd be fucking great. I am trying to get everyone together though in VR chat at some point, just to play some games with the Spud. Because he fucking loves VR. Actually, like I said, he's used the headset so much, he's developed stick drift on his left analog stick. Side note as well, thankfully, Meta do sell each individual component of that headset that you might need. So if one of your controllers dies, you can buy a replacement, and then whilst you send in the thing for repair. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy a spare set, and then we'll send his in for repair. So he'll be able to use one of the spare controllers. And then when we get his original one back, we'll then put the spares back in storage, kind of thing, just as a,
Apparently, Jimmy thought I thought with the frozen webcam, I was in Ninja Stealth mode, Ram.
You could be.
And the answer to that, Jimmy, is I'm always in Ninja Stealth mode, Ram.
Always. I've never known Ram not to stealth.
Skazz will tell you this. Whenever I'm in his house, I'm always crouch walking everywhere.
True. It is true.
And I'm always ready with some sort of tase to stun someone who's not looking at me.
It's always the way.
Yeah. And occasionally I'll hide in the corner and throw things to distract him.
That has happened too.
Yeah. Skazz told us many years ago, he tells a story about how all the mice he had in his house, it wasn't the mice.
That was secretly Ram.
Yeah. Every time he saw me or I just see him go, must be rats. And off he would go.
I just get the vision of fucking old Metal Gear Solid. A box. What was that noise? And all of a sudden there's like a random fucking 6-foot cardboard box in my fucking living room. I was like,
What Skazz doesn't know is I deliberately froze the camera. I'm actually in his house right now.
He's actually there.
I'm actually. If you look carefully on his video, you'll see me just emerge from darkness and whack him on the head.
I've gone forgot what his name is now. A thief, main character.
Garrett.
That's the one. I almost mixed that up with the dude from The Witcher. Maybe I forget him with G, don't they?
Well, yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, Garrett's cooler.
I agree.
Garrett's cool because Garrett's just a dude. He's not like some sort of fancy, magically enhanced dude. He's just a guy who goes out thieving to pay the rent. That is literally the motivation for level 2 of Thief to the Middle Ages. The rent's due. I need to pay it. I'm going to go do some nicking. That is basically that is the whole motivation of the game.
So it turns out that fucking Garrett and Postal Dude have got a lot in common.
Yeah, they have actually. Yeah, they have. That was bad. I love the plot of the Thief because it was literally this guy who didn't really want to get involved in saving the world, but kind of accidentally fell into it.
He just happens to be there.
He did. He's like, well, don't really want to do this, but as everybody else, as I'm the one who sort of knows what's going on by accident, I better go do something. So.
And he did.
And he did.
Definitely not a millennial.
No, he did. He actually went and did something. He didn't go on a march. And yeah, she went. Yeah. If Guy had been in charge, he would have broken into the House of Parliament and bosh balls in the head.
Nailed it. I just want to throw out there. I feel too old to be a millennial. I know it's the thing, but just I don't know.
Sad,
I don't get half of the stuff that they're going on about. I just don't understand. It's like, why are you whining for?
Is it Zoomers? Are they after us or before us?
After us.
Are they the next generation after Zoomers? Because when's Gen X?
So they're before us, aren't they?
Are Gen X before us?
They're just before us.
Was it go Boomers, Gen X, then us?
Yeah.
I'm looking this up. There's got to be on Wikipedia on this.
Just please find a way to get us out of the millennial category. It's embarrassing.
Well, I can't name generations. So we have the Boomers, who are born 46 to 64.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Generation X, born 65 to 80. Millennials, 81 to 96. Generation Z, that's come after us, 97 to 2012. And then Generation Alpha. Fuck off.
Yeah, hang on.
Generation Alpha. The best Generation Beta version. Generation fucking Alpha. They call us pretentious.
I was gonna say shit is getting really tense right now.
Well, you might as well call yourself. I mean, the only one that's worse than that is if you go back far enough, there was a generation called the Greatest Generation.
Oh, God damn! Why weren't we part
of
that?
But they had an excuse. They had because they're the people who would have fought in World War II.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
So
millennials won't be fighting in World War II.
Generation Alpha. Well, they might be World War III at the rate we're going. Generation Alpha,
like they'll do anything.
Generation Alpha. Fuck you, pretentious lot. You're not. Ooh, that's riled me up, Skazz. Don't call themselves Generation fucking Alpha.
If you want to know why we wouldn't be any good in World War III, just look up. Is it a Netflix show called Snowflake Mountain? Where they basically throw a bunch of millennials in the Lake District or whatever it is in the UK, and they're told to look after themselves a bit.
Well, yes, but let's be honest. That all sounds hilarious, but let's be honest. Do you think the producers are going to pick people who'd be competent?
That's not the point, though, is it? It was just like fucking. I was looking at it, I was like, that's a standard British holiday.
Yeah.
You know, walking places, it's wet, it's a bit gank, shitting in a hole.
Yeah. We discussed this, me and my friend discussed this. We were just, and he's a guy, he's a similar age than me, so he's a millennial like me.
Ugh.
But he has done all he goes on bushcraft courses and weekends. He's gone for a holiday, he's gone and lived in the woods for 2 weeks.
Mate, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, he's the sort of person actually. I'm pretty sure he could build a log cabin.
That's got to be done.
He could build a log cabin. He could go hunting. He could do all that. He could make snares. He could do all that. I'm more the techie guy, so we've established if the world does start to go crashing down, me and him are going to meet up, and I'll do all the techie stuff, and he'll just do all the survival stuff.
So you're going to bring the pen drive?
Yeah, I'll bring the laptop and the pen drive. If we look when we need to hack into some futuristic terminal, I don't know really how to hack, but if we do, I can pretend at least.
You can just load up Uplink or something.
Yeah, I'll load it. See, look, I'm doing it. And what I'm actually really doing is when I was looking at Google, it's the last surviving Google server. I'm saying, how do I hack an ICBM?
Run Google in a text-only browser. Like just terminal it. Then no one will know. They'll just think you're hacking.
No, they will. Yes, they will. And there we go. And then we'll be safe. That's our cunning plan anyway.
Nailed it.
So in conclusion, Generation Alpha can fuck off. What year were your children born?
2009, 2010.
Well, one of them is fine. One of them is Generation Z. So the one who's born 2010. Well, it says no, that's not true. It says Generation 10 Z goes to 2012. Generation Alpha is 2010s. So there's an overlap there. So I want to say both. Yeah, I know. I don't know how that works. All the others don't.
Well, I was going to say my eldest son's pretty chill. My youngest son's a fucking nightmare. So
yeah,
it seems about right.
I expect you to blame him for the naming of his generation.
Oh well, bastards. That's ruined my groove now. I'm a millennial.
Well,
There you go.
sorry.
I'm complaining about it, so clearly I am a millennial.
Yeah, you are millennial. Yeah, fucking Generation Alpha.
Oh, Ram is pissed.
I am pissed. Generation fucking Alpha.
So when do we get the release candidate generation? When do we get the gold release?
Gold, yeah, gold, yeah. Wait, no. It's the next one will be called Generation Patch 1.
This is green light.
Yeah. Generation DLC.
Content patch 1.
Yeah, God.
Oh mate.
Oh dear. I mustn't cry.
Mate, we haven't done anything. We've spoken about a game we've already played a billion times before and how my son absolutely loves VR.
There is a game that I don't think we've spoke about on the podcast.
What's that?
Golf with your friends. Did we speak about that on podcast?
Oh, fuck me. No, we might. No, have we? Because we've played a game like it with Zaber, haven't we? No, that was Golf It.
Golf It, but I don't think we spoke about golf with your friends. Let me just open up the tab of the episodes that we've got.
Uh-oh.
So I'm now
We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel right now. And the trick is, I think last time I played a golf game with Zaber, I was completely fucking shit-faced, so...
You mean there's another way to play a golf game?
Well, I was kind of sober this time around, so I did it wrong.
Yes. You see, now the great thing is, because I've got fed up having to trawl through show notes, so I now put what we discussed in the titles of all the episodes. It saves me having to go through all the show notes and work out what we discussed, and we haven't discussed golf with your friends.
Well, first off, it was very difficult because we don't really have friends.
So we had to do golf with your acquaintances you kind of know.
Yeah, that's it. That was it. Yeah.
And yeah, because both Zaber was away, so our friend was both away for both of us.
Which is really bad because Zaber is the professional golfist.
Yeah,
he's got the rackets and everything.
Golf games next. You guys be selling shareware. Yeah, so yeah, it's basically Golf It, but it was basically a copy of Golf It. It's
Which
Crazy
came
Golf.
first?
I think I'm going to say Golf It because Golf It seemed the graphics seemed a little bit not quite so polished. I'm going to say Golf It came first.
It was a fucking golf game. How can you tell?
The grass wasn't so rendered so well.
Yeah, grass, mate. That's totally the way to tell. If it looks like it's Operation Flashpoint levels of grass.
Yeah, hop in. So Golf It was 2017. Oh no! Surprisingly, Golf with Your Friends is 2016.
Dun dun dun.
So it's about a year in it. But yeah, it's crazy golf, and you play your games, and you basically have to put yourself round, and you have fun.
You have to stick your balls in the hole.
Yep. Just the ball, not the pole part.
Nah.
Yeah, it goes in the hole, and it is actually quite fun bouncing around the thing with your mates. It's definitely a game that you can just relax with. And not
really? I'm sure there was plenty of swearing going on.
Oh, there was plenty of swearing, but I was chill swearing.
There was a lot of screaming too.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Yeah, actually try and bounce off. And there were the levels do escalate quite quickly.
Oh yes.
The base level there's like 16 levels, and level 4 or 16 we were like, hey, how the fuck are we meant to do this?
Yeah, there's like physics clearly wasn't on our side at that point.
There's like we're in a room. There's like a bazillion tubes, one of which takes us to the hole, and we have to hit them in the right order.
Dude, when we found out there was a jump button.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Your golf ball has a jump button.
That was so. I was like, what the fuck? How are you supposed to do this? And just randomly, I can't even remember how I figured it out. And I just looked. It was a jump. I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. There's a jump in a golf game. This ain't pinball, son. You can't just whack the fucking table.
I like to just imagine that the guy, whoever's playing, because you don't see the person who's playing, he's running behind it and just sort of chips the golf ball.
That's it. No, because
But
if he whacks it with the club, that counts as an extra hit. So he's probably trying to kick it.
yeah. Perhaps what he does is he whacks, because the only time I jumped was on water. So I think what he does is he hits the water. The water then technically hits the ball, not the golf club, so it doesn't count.
No, I could see that. Doesn't one of those have a VR mode? Is it Golf with Friends or Golfer that does? Surely one of them has VR, right?
How would that work? Would you be like standing up next to the ball and hitting it?
Well, yeah, because there are golf games in VR just like Golf with Friends and Golf It.
Golf it's probably got oh, I'm not sure.
I mean, 'cause, in fairness, though, me, Zaber, and Jet, and that we did play a bit of VR golf in VR chat because, again, VR chat has absolutely everything in it.
Yeah.
You know, McDonald's, golf, strip club. It's all there.
Oh. Apparently, Page Jimmy's made a room in VR and it's running on standalone.
Yeah, he was working on it recent because he's just fired up Unity because he's taken his leap into PC gaming.
Oh,
welcome to the real world, son.
Good on you, Mal. Unity's all right. I've switched to Unreal now, but I've spent a lot of time with video around Unity. And it's a good little system.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to remember how to play it.
I need to reinstall
Unity.
Yeah. I could install both. I've got space.
Yeah. I will need to get around to trying out Unreal Engine 5. That's now been released.
That's pretty heavy though, isn't it?
It is pretty heavy. It's apparently though to run surprisingly well, even on old hardware.
Huh.
It's quite scalable. So it'll
4 was fantastic for that, wasn't it? Around practically everything.
Yeah, 4 runs. Yeah, 4 runs really well. Even my machine's not new, but it still ran very well. You know, you'd have the actual editor running as well as the actual in-game one at the same time. That's quite a tax to be able to monitor the editor at the same time. It ran very well.
I will say actually, it's amazing when you look at you because like most games are Unreal or Unity. Very few games have their own bespoke engines these days. It's fucking amazing. Yeah. Like you'll have like
CryEngine does quite a few. There's quite a few in CryEngine, not as many as the other two, but there's quite a few in CryEngine.
Mm-hmm. It's just the idea that like you'll have like I don't know, shooters, fighting games, puzzle games, you know, platformers, and that's just like all of this in that. Like how well obviously there's a really, really, really flexible engine, but just Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. I mean, well, Unreal virtually comes. You could virtually when you load up Unreal, it actually says like, okay,
you can select a template, can't you, for the kind of game you want?
Yeah, you can put say, I'm making a shooter, third-person shooter. I'm making a VR game. and it just loads up everything you need to start with.
Yeah, like it presets camera positions and stuff, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah, it will load up certain assets ready. So you'll have like if you say you're doing a VR, it'll load up the VR version of the character.
Yeah.
Object, or optimize for VR. I mean, it's still bare bones.
Yeah, but it's a start.
The basic functionality is there. It will also load up. But I do find, having used both, I prefer Unreal. Unreal just feels like a little bit more refined. Feels well because it's been in development a lot longer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I imagine the team behind it a lot bigger. And the fact is because it's I need to say it's an industry standard. It sort of is really because so many game companies use Unreal Engine.
Yeah,
it's sort of in that category. So because that it gets a lot of feedback from actual mainstream developers, so it tends to bounce around. There's quite a lot of support for it in terms of people who know what to talk about because there's a lot of knowledge out there for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you will if you go on like their version of Stack Overflow, you can end up getting a response from someone who's been using Unreal Engine for the last like 20 years, and it's like a developer, like a mainstream game company, so they know it inside out. Whereas Unity still is very much in the hands of the indie.
Yep.
There are some like more teams that do use Unity, but it's definitely very SR towards Unreal, and I do find Unreal is a lot more modular. I find Unreal easier to work in. initially it feels a lot more complicated, but actually once you get used to it, it feels a lot easier.
It's a lot more intuitive, probably.
I think the best way I think the best way is the best comparison I could think of is if you put someone in front of, say, Windows Movie Maker, and then put in front of something like Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro, or something more.
Initially, they'll jump into Windows Movie Maker because it's just so simple. But then when it comes to actually doing anything beyond just straight cuts, they'll be like, well, what the fuck do I do? That's when things start to get overly complicated. Whereas then you'd look at Final Cut Pro and go, oh, actually, hang on, the initial setup is a little bit more tricky, but once I'm in, this is a lot more intuitive.
Yeah, and it's a lot more flexible.
Yes,
I can think of ways I can do things in this that I can't do in Windows Movie Maker, and that's just your standard, trade-off between making something that's easy to use, hide a lot of the functionality away.
Yeah.
So I must admit, I would nowadays pick UE over Unity pretty much any time, to be honest. But if someone had no experience in game programming and no experience in sort of game engine tool, Unity would be a good one to start with because that'll get you all the basics.
Yeah.
And all the concepts are there, and then when you move on to something like UE, you will find that most of it you can transfer over.
Yeah.
I switched to UE pretty easily. There are certain terminology is different, which throws you a little bit. Once you get your head around what the terminology means, you'll find you switch over very quickly, and you will just say, "Oh, this is just a smarter way to do it." And you can just tell it's been done by people who know what they're doing. I've never used CryEngine, so I can't comment on what CryEngine is like.
As far as accessibility, like licensing, which is, I mean, obviously Unity's free, Unreal Engine is free up until a point, is it not? And
$100,000 revenue.
Fair that. And what's CryEngine?
I think CryEngine is similar. To it's free until you get XYZ revenue, then you have to start paying licenses.
Sure.
I think. I'm not too sure. I don't know off the top of my head what it's like.
Sure. Okay.
If I'm honest, but I've never used it. Also, from what I understand, CryEngine is it's stuff that there's not a lot of. At least when I was looking at switching from Unity, there's not a lot of support for CryEngine out there in terms of like forums and stuff because it's a niche one.
Yeah.
So it's not so easy to find answers and stuff. Whereas also something on UE, you will find somebody. And to be fair, Epic's documentation for UE is pretty good.
Yeah.
Not perfect. It tends to be very. One thing about UE is it's got better, but a lot of their documentation is very technical. They sort of assume you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Whereas Unity tends to be a bit more. They're assuming you're someone who's never done a game design before, so they write their stuff a lot more. I don't want to say simpler. They write it a lot more accessible, but more wordy. To explain a concept, whereas UE will just a paragraph will have like a dozen technical words in it to explain it. And if you know what they are, it means sense. But if you're new to it, that's going to go, what? What the fuck is all this? Oh yeah, you mustn't show you initialize the backgammon port or something.
Well, I mean, it could be like how we started, basic or QBasic, blue with a cursor.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, what do I do? Nope, that's it. Okay.
You could get. Well, to be fair, you could go and buy the manuals.
Oh yeah, sure, but I mean, at least like think about it. When you start up Unity or UE, you just go, oh yeah, I want to make a fucking platform. Billy Bob Basic stuff is there for you just to dick around with.
Yeah. Yes.
You get nothing. QBasic. It's just like, there you go.
Yeah.
Game that.
Yeah. But to be fair, most of the games that people will make it were what you made them were a lot more basic, and they were like magazines and stuff you could buy. It sort of gave you
very different times, very different tools. It's insane what you can do now, and for free.
Yeah, I mean, I learned QBasic programming partly from my grandfather just brought me to me, and then I sort of developed it in sort of like doing my games by. I bought from a charity store. I bought a book that was QBasic games and basically just had the code.
Yeah.
And so you just had to copy the code line by line. And some of these would be like 30 or 40 pages long.
That's what you used to have to do with the old Commodore 64 and that. You'd buy magazines, and in the magazines there'd be like pages of code you could just read out and type it in. And you'd fucking hit to run it, and then it'd turn out it wouldn't work because you'd fucking put in the wrong thing somewhere, and you had to go through it line by line, and them are the days.
And you had to hope the code they printed out didn't have its own misprint.
Yeah, for sure. I've had a few like that.
Yeah, and then you go. But that actually doing that a few times, you start to pick up how things work.
Yeah. So then you can actually start to go in and start changing bits, and then you're like, oh, that's what that does. Ah.
Yeah. How does this magic loop work? That's the main game. How does this work? Oh, I see. That makes sense. That's very clever. Or this is a problem I had. This game does what I wanted to do. I did it in a very complicated way. This is only like 6 lines. Why does it work? Oh, that's really clever. That's so elegant and simple. So...
Them are the days.
Them were the days. Back in the days of coding. But yeah, games. Anyway, so... well, for something we've had nothing to talk about...
We've padded out pretty well. I'm proud of us.
We've done really well. Yeah, I'm very proud of us. I'm very proud. I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. I've actually quite enjoyed this episode, to be honest.
The Round Nerds Podcast.
Podcast. Welcome to, Podcast 196.
Where we talk shit every episode.
Yeah. And we're getting there. We're getting up to 200.
I was going to say, the day we actually, if we do a podcast, and like the day that we actually come up with actual topics is the day that we have to pod fade because it's no longer a pad show.
There was another podcast I used to listen to, and they used to do something. They've discussed like games. They used to go off on tangents, and the last episode they produced, it was called One Final Tangent. Was the actual title for the last episode? It's like, oh, that's good. Well done.
Bless.
I remember seeing that. I remember I said that One Final Tangent. I was like, oh no, this I can't be it. And I said, yeah, this is going to be our last episode. And so, because they're being paid to do, and the money basically they've been cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was almost a drive that the people who like in charge said it wasn't worth it anymore. So, but they went to form their own podcast. So there you go.
Yeah.
So, which is now on nearly 400 episodes.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. But yeah, so thank you very much for watching, everybody, up in the Suffolk Crown.
Skazz.
And you can join us in a fortnight's time on the 30th of July, and he said June, 30th of July for episode 197. You can also join us on our games night, which will be on Tuesday the 19th. We're playing the next Demeo session. What's the next Demeo level?
Session 3, I believe, is the introductory to the Bard class, I think. I can't remember what it's called, though, but I've played a part of it with Zaber, and it was fucking rad. I think I played it with Zaber. It was pretty cool.
Oh, cool. We'll play that. So you can come join us on that one. And you can join us on our Twitch channels. Mine is twitch.tv/the Suffolk Ram.
And twitch.tv/Skazzius, SK4ZZI0US.
So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Bye, guys.
Take it easy, guys.